It could always be worse, but it could always be better as well. Hey guys, welcome back to 5-0-100-0.com. I am Fugit, the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. Gotta get used to pointing. Hey guys, I'm talking to you today about perspective, okay? About the roller coaster of life and how sometimes good things happen, sometimes bad things happen, right? You ever hear the old saying, it all comes out in the wash? I don't know what that means exactly, but just wanted to kind of throw a few ideas, thoughts at you. They say that you need to play the long game, right? And when you're young, everything is an emergency. So you don't have clean socks. You start yelling and crying and, telling your parents, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Or, like little things that when you were younger would cause you to freak out, cry, overreact, depending on your temperament. But, that's usually, happens in childhood, is you don't know how to react. So it's like you're very self-centered, you're self-absorbed, you're trying to figure out the world. And so you react certain ways. And if you're anything like me, when I was growing up and I would present an adult with my problem, which to me was larger than life, it was terrible. And I didn't know what to do. And what would really tick me off, and I thought they just didn't care, weren't listening, is they might just look at me and say, it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, this idiot doesn't understand the gravity of this, right? And as you get older, you start to realize that things just sometimes work out. Now, I'm not saying avoid your problems, but I'm saying that sometimes there's very little you can do in the short term. And you need to kind of take a step back, take a long-term approach, or, think about things before you make a decision that just might make the problem worse. So the best thing you can do is just to kind of, as they say, sleep on it, right? There's very few decisions in life that need to be made immediately. Your friend is choking at the dinner table. Yeah, the Heimlich maneuver sooner than later is gonna help, right? Somebody falls over and is having a heart attack. Yeah, some CPR skills. We'll call the old 911 could help very fast. So get moving. If you have a friend that you found out didn't invite you to a party, I wouldn't necessarily text or call and be upset, right? Because you don't know the circumstances, and you might just call and F-bomb him or her, and then your invitation shows up in the mail or the text didn't send. And now you've created a lot of strife, right? So I guess my point is that you don't have to, if you don't react, right? And this really goes well for relationships. So if your partner comes to you and has an issue and you're immediately like thrown off or offended, and you want to respond real quick because you think that they're wrong and you're right, sometimes the best thing you can do is to say nothing. Just acknowledge it. I'll give it some thought. And don't let them press you into giving an answer right then and there, right? Because at that time, their response and everything is going to be emotionally driven, which that's when things are said in either anger or hurt. And at the end of the day, if you let it escalate, you're not going to be able to take those words back, right? Especially, call it whatever you will, but I'll just say it. Men are like little puppy dogs. We just wag our tail. You can kick us, you can hit us with a newspaper, you can whatever, but at the end of the day, we're still going to be like wagging our tail and coming up for a treat and licking you and whatever, right? We tend to forget things. Like two guys can get in a big fist fight and 10 minutes later be having a beer together. And I've had a lot of women that have told me over the years that they wish they were more like men, because a lot of times women won't forget. It's like hardwired, ingrained, etched in stone in their memory bank. And it's just one of those things, you know, the difference between the sexes. So, of course, there's exceptions to the rule, and you might be that exception, and that's fine. But I've lived a long ass life, so I'm speaking from my experience. So I appreciate you listening. Too much gum in my mouth. And you know what? As the weeks and the months and the years go on, I will only have more. I'm like Violet in the Willy Wonka movie. Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. Ever see it? It's a classic. At first, I liked the Johnny Depp version, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But as years went on, I started to think back, and I was like, this is garbage. You know, they had their, what is it, not AI, where they had all those Oompa Loompas, and it was the same guy. So they saved on their budget for the actors, but they definitely spent more in special effects. So it is what it is. I don't know why I'm talking about the Oompa Loompas. It's been a long day. So that sounded like Andy Bernard from The Office. All right, enough of that. Guys, I hope you're doing well. Don't like, don't share, don't subscribe. This is my personal journal/diary, and I just put it out there for storage purposes. I forgot to hit private on these 400 plus videos. Oops. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, guys. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. I apologize for the ramble and the nonsensicalness that is my video channel. Toodaloo.